Hey guys, welcome to FreckleFace Finance, where we discuss personal finances open and honestly so that you can live the life that you deserve. So did you know that according to Investopedia, only 41% of people who are in the retirement age feel like they properly save for retirement? And Investopedia is like a really reputable source when it comes to finances and retirement data, so I consider them a trusted source. So if that's the case, the majority of people do not feel like they saved enough for retirement. That is insane, the majority of people. So because I'm very curious, I did the research so you don't have to. I wanted to research what do retirees spend the majority of their money on and how I can better prepare to save so that I'm not a part of the majority when it comes to retirement. So if you're interested in what retirees spend their money on and how you can properly save so that you cannot be a part of the majority, then just keep on watching. So in my research, when I look at information on how people actually describe their retirement and their dream retirement, they always talk about traveling, they talk about spending more time with their loved ones, helping out their grandkids. They really focus on the glamorous side of retirement and they don't really focus on the practical side. And I think that that could probably aid in a lot on why people don't feel prepared for retirement, is because they're not really looking at it realistically and what does that mean. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the 3 top expenses that people spend in retirement. And spoiler alert, travel is not in the top 3. So coming in at number 3, the majority of people who are retirement age spend about 12% of their income on medical expenses. And I know that this is not very glamorous, but it is a necessity, and the majority of people who are retirement age do not feel financially prepared to cover their medical expenses. So here's what you can do in order to properly prepare to cover your medical expenses once you reach retirement age. So one of the things that you can do to cover the medical expenses is you can retire from a job that offers medical expenses after retirement. So if you're lucky enough to have a job that still offers a pension, a lot of the times your pension will cover medical expenses. Like you can take your healthcare benefits into retirement. So if you're following me and you are a part of the federal government, that is a benefit that is offered to you when you retire from the federal government. So just make sure that you keep that in mind when you're looking and planning for retirement, is how do you plan to cover your healthcare benefits? Now, if you are closer to retirement age and you weren't fortunate enough to, be in a position that has healthcare benefits after you retire, of course, there are government assistance programs that you can apply for that will kind of help ease the burden so that you can cover some of those medical expenses in retirement. Now, I will say it is great to have options to have both. So for example, you do want to make sure that you're saving for your healthcare benefits once you retire. You can look into a health savings account. And so that is an account that will help you, and it's tax-free, like it's a tax benefit. And so that is an account that you can specifically save for health benefits in retirement. Now, there are restrictions on who can have an HSA account and who can't. So that is something that's going to be very specific to you. So you have to look to see if your insurance company allows you to have a health savings account. But for everyone else, of course, there are government assistance programs. If you're unable to save for your healthcare benefits and you don't have a pension program that allows you to carry healthcare benefits into retirement, of course, you can apply for Medicare, Medicaid, and any type of other government assistance program that may be eligible to you. I will say this, unfortunately, due to capitalism, the more that you save for your healthcare benefits in the future, the better your care is going to be. So if you're watching this, I wouldn't rely on government assistance as your first option. I would kind of look at that as like, your last option, but it is available to you. So don't feel like you won't get healthcare benefits if you didn't properly save. It's okay. I'm just saying that you should plan to save, because I think that the care that you're going to receive is going to be better depending on how much you're able to pay for it, unfortunately. Don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. I'm so sorry. All right, you guys, so coming in at number 2 on the list, the majority of people in retirement spend about 25% of their income on food. So that's not that glamorous either, but food would be considered anything that's like dining out or cooking at home. So through retirement, you can pay for this expense through a pension that you're getting, your Roth IRAs, any type of savings account that you have. There aren't really any restrictions on how you can pay for this expense. And so those are a lot of options that are available to you. Of course, if your retirement income does not allow for you to spend 25% on food, then of course there are tons of government assistance programs that you can apply for and see if you're eligible. So for example, there are food stamps that may be eligible to you. There are food banks that you can try to get food from on a weekly basis if you're eligible. And you can check in your city to see if there are any other eligible programs that you may be able to apply for that will assist senior citizens in getting the food that they need. So of course you don't want to be in that predicament, but if you find that you are, there are different government assistance programs that you can apply for. But I would say, please try to, contribute to your Roth IRA, 401ks, any type of savings plan that you have for retirement that is, a tax benefit to you, of course. Try to put money into those so that you can have resources available to you in retirement because you want to have options. Alright, you guys, so coming in at number 1, the largest expense that retirees have in retirement, which is really no surprise because I think it's a lot of people's largest expense throughout life, is housing. And so retirees can be expected to spend about 30% of their income on housing. And actually 41% of retirees still have a mortgage into their 60s and 70s. So there are a lot of different options that you can use to pay for your housing expenses in retirement. So you can pull money from your 401k, any type of IRA accounts that you had, long-term brokerage accounts. Like there are a ton of options that you can use to pay for your housing expenses. Now, the best case scenario is that you go into retirement with no mortgage and you have a place to live essentially for free. Like you might be paying, of course, property taxes on your home, but the best case scenario is that you have already had your housing expenses covered because you've already paid off a home, or you have invested in some type of real estate and you have rental income coming in that is able to cover your immediate housing expenses on a monthly basis. Now, that is the best case scenario. There are other options if you are unable to do that. Of course, there is housing assistance programs. There are places that you can live that are rent control for our senior citizens. So there are options. And of course, you can save enough. Like let's say you're not a house person and you just never had a desire to own a home. You can always have your annuity or your retirement money going towards some type of apartment. Like that is completely acceptable as well. So don't feel like you have to have a home to successfully retire or to comfortably retire. There are other options out there for you. Alright, you guys, so those were the top 3 categories that the majority of people spend money on or their highest expenses in retirement. And if you noticed, none of that sounded like taking care of grandkids, traveling the world, eating fancy foods. Like all of those were like very basic living expenses, and they take the majority of your retirement income. And so I also want to mention like an honorable mention, like next on the list wasn't even travel. Like number 4 was transportation expenses. So nothing glamorous about that at all. So I say that to say this. It is very important to start saving for retirement as early as you can and be dedicated and disciplined when doing it, because you want your retirement to look like how you imagine it to look like. Like why spend, 30, 40 years working and imagining this glamorous retirement that you did not plan for and you did not save for? So it's very important, even if it's just a little bit of money, over a long period of time, it can go a long way. So you have to start saving as early as possible. I also want to say this. Everyone is not in a position to start saving aggressively, at 18 or at 22 when they graduate from college. So if that was not you, that is not the majority of people, and it's okay. It's okay. So I feel like the first step is educating yourself and then making an honest effort to be disciplined to start saving for retirement now. Whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, like it is not too late to save for retirement and start making good financial decisions. Alright, you guys, as always, I hope this video was not that depressing. I promise I did not make it to be depressing. I just wanted to share with you guys what the top 3 expenses were for retirees, and it's not what you think that it is, and that you should start saving early so that you can live the life that you want to live. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this video even a little bit helpful, please make sure to give me a thumbs up so this video can be pushed out to a larger audience, because I think the information is very helpful. And if you found this video helpful yourself, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be notified of when I make future videos. As always, I really appreciate it, you guys, and I'll see you in my next one.